Security for working people, renewal for Britain. That is the government's mission in a changing world.
As Rachael Reeves gains the name of Ruthless Rachel, we decode her word salad of defence and jargon and tell you where your money will be going and why the country is in such a state. Hi there, and thank you to everybody for joining me for yet another video back at the channel had just gone viral. If you're new here, we like to cover news and crime, give analysis, and also tell you information that sometimes the mainstream media won't always tell you. So with that being said, please like, share, comment and subscribe, and let's get straight into the video. With Rachael Reeves' budget statement cuts yesterday, it seems that the UK people are still not being put first. With jargon and word salads of defence, and also the announcement of 2 million homes being built, plus 2.2 billion being sent abroad for defence, we break down and decode exactly what Rachael Reeves means, and also we ask, where is the money from the NHS?
That is why we have invested in our NHS to cut waiting lists for 5 months in a row. Why we are rolling out breakfast clubs in every primary school in England. And why we are increasing the minimum wage by £1,400 for someone who works full-time from next week. But I know that it's not enough. The cost of living crisis is still very real for people in Britain.
Which takes us back to 2022, when there was a national data opt-out for the NHS. This involved going to your doctors or local GPs and filling out a form to opt out to your data being sold and passed on for profit. If you hadn't filled this form out, then your data would be circulating by the NHS to third parties for profit and money that you would never see a penny of. So we asked the question, where is all the money that the NHS have made from selling your data on? And if they were selling your data on, surely wouldn't you get a percentage of the money, if not all of it? After all, it is your data. This programme and scheme has now been running for 3 years, with it now being 2025, and the scheme started in 2022. So the question would be is, where are the millions of pounds made over the past 3 years from selling people's data? And why has this money not gone back into the NHS to make the NHS more productive and work better for the public?
Global instability is holding back prosperity across the world, and countries across Europe are rightly having to spend more on defence. That is why today I have spelled out how we are going further and faster in delivering our plan for change. We are strengthening our nation's defences with £2.2 billion as a further down payment on our plans to deliver defence spending worth 2.5% of GDP by April 2027. We are seizing the opportunities of a changing world with a commitment to make Britain a defence industrial superpower.
Jubilant as they emerge from the dunes with a craft that dwarfs them, this is the moment these migrants realise nothing now stands in their way.
So as it clearly shows, the UK doesn't have a defence system itself. Which defence system are we paying for? Well, this turns our attention to Keir Starmer and President Zelensky that met a few weeks ago and signed a contract. The contract that was signed is that the British government and the country will provide a percentage of GDP towards Ukraine for the next 100 years to help with their defence, not ours. So as we are told, the government intend to smash the gangs. The only gangs we can see bringing people in across the water are the Border Force and the RNLI.
To create jobs, prosperity and opportunity in every corner of Britain. And we are getting Britain building again, with our plans to build 1.5 million new homes.
But with the influx of illegal migrants crossing on boats every day, hitting new all-time records and highs, these homes that are being built will not be for the people of the UK, but more to sort the problem with regards to the migrant crisis and the hotels that are having to be rented to accommodate them. So as Ruthless Rachel's cuts target the disabled and people on benefit welfare system, here's a couple of suggestions that we could make to Rachael to save a lot of money in the first place, without even targeting the people of the UK. The first one would be to scrap the £141 million welcome package for illegal migrants. This included driving lessons, yoga classes and DJing courses. The second amount of money is to stop sending money to Ukraine. The £2.2 billion could be invested into the UK, making our own services and also the cost of living crisis disappear. Because I'm sure you could ask people in Ukraine and they would not be suffering with a cost of living crisis. The other suggestion would be to scrap the £7 million a day that it costs the UK taxpayer to house illegal migrants that shouldn't be here in the first place. Rachael Reeves speaks about a defence system that will be funded by the taxpayer via the GDP each year. This is the defence system contract that Keir Starmer signed with President Zelensky that will now last for the next 100 years. So the defence system she speaks about is not going to benefit the UK whatsoever, but only Ukraine. The reason the UK has no defence is because our defence, the Navy, are too busy halfway across the world doing busts. So why the link with Ukraine, and why do we keep sending money for their defence system? Well, when you look back into people's cultures and also their religious backgrounds and beliefs, you'll find out that Keir Starmer, along with his fellow MPs, all have something in common with President Zelensky and also the people of Ukraine. Now, I'm not going to say too much on this topic, but I'll let you connect the dots and work this one out for yourself. So, just when you thought you lived and grew up in a Christian country, maybe you don't after all.
Next year and every year after that. The economy will be larger at the end of the forecast than predicted in October. Our planning reforms alone will add £6.8 billion to the size of our economy by 2029-30. And real household disposable incomes, the money in people's pockets, will rise by £500 a year per person on average. There are no quick fixes, no shortcuts to prosperity, but we have returned stability to our economy. We have brought back security for working people, and we are delivering national renewal. Thank you very much.
As for the man who will be getting all this money and managing it and deciding where it goes, including your tax money, let's just take a look at exactly who this man is, the ex-gay male escort and cokey canehead. So is President Zelensky a real president or nothing more than an entertainer? I hope you enjoyed the video and the content. Smash the like button if you did, and if you haven't already, smash the subscribe button too. Take care of yourselves and each other, and I'll see you in the next video.